Hello, guys. How are you this evening? How are things going with you? So, the truth is, I was getting tortured by my stepfather, correct? The truth is, in 2005 to 2011, he was torturing me, correct? And even in the following years, he was torturing me. My stepfather didn't like me and was trying to put me in fight or flight mode, correct? I was being tortured by my stepfather, correct? I think it's pretty obvious, despite my mother telling me this isn't so and my stepfather denying it. I think it's pretty obvious I was tortured. I think my stepfather and family were trying to cause neurological damage. They were trying to render me a vegetable mind. I think they were getting sadistic sexual pleasure from my suffering. And I think it's pretty obvious I was being tortured for the past 20 years. But I'm told that's not so and to toggle the emotional switch to off. No one is lying, no one is deceiving me. They tell me I need mental health recovery. It's not my parents who are to blame. And even if they sadistically tortured me and intentionally put me in fight or flight mode, it's my responsibility to create a life for myself. I'm like, tell me the truth. They are telling me the truth. Should they have intervened? Yes. But it was me who sat in solitude. It was me who sat in the Joanne Greenberg fantasy land. I wasn't a prisoner of war who was getting beaten with bamboo sticks. I chose this. You know? But I'm like, can somebody tell me the goddamn truth, though? But they tell me, I just, whatever. Just toggle the switch to off. Even if I was tortured by my stepfather and family, realistically, it's my responsibility to create a life for myself at this point. Can somebody tell me the truth, please? I know they say you had a bad relationship with your stepfather. He didn't like you. He was bullying you. He was trying to intimidate you. Um, you know, but realistically, there's going to be no Supreme Court case. You're not going to be putting your, stepfather in jail for torturing you. You know, somebody says, "I wish you health, strength, and happiness." And I know my mother and stepfather will say it's delusional, but it's not. I was fucking tortured by my stepfather. It's fucking obvious. It's fucking obvious. Just admit it. Just fucking admit it. Just admit the truth. From 2005 to 2011, they were fucking torturing me. Just fucking admit it. They're fucking cowards who are afraid to take accountability for what they've done. Just tell me the goddamn truth, please. Just tell me the goddamn truth. They tortured me. Right? Is that the reality? I was being tortured by my parents? Or is it really mental health struggles and I need to go and take more antipsychotics and more medication? I wasn't being tortured by sadists. I wasn't being tortured by monsters behind their masks. Is it really all psychosis? Even if he wasn't torturing me, which I'm certain he was, there's a kernel of truth here. He didn't like me. I was home all day long with someone who hated me, and my mother gaslit me, the passive one, into thinking I was the problem. The truth is, I wanted to be left alone. I was just trying to keep my head above water so I didn't metaphorically drown. But they say the past 20 years in solitude in a Joanne Greenberg fantasy land was my choice, not torture. It was my responsibility to create a life for myself, so stop blaming them. I feel like he was making me walk on eggshells, putting me in fight or flight mode, depriving me of interpersonal relationships, but take accountability. I'm not talking about my father. I'm not talking about my mother. I'm talking about my stepfather, who's the sadist. Somebody said, having seen and heard your parents, I'm sure they are very nice people. Your father does love you. Magnet Man says, you failed and you can't cope with your horrible failure of a life. So you make up stuff. No, I think I was really, really tortured by them. I think they were trying to sabotage my life. I mean, I have failed. I'm 37 years old and I'm a failure, you know? I think my family was trying to sabotage me. Can somebody take accountability, or is this not so? Or did they always have good intentions? Did they always wish the best for me? Somebody says, blaming your parents gets you nowhere, really, you know? Where is that getting you? Let's say hypothetically speaking, there's a Supreme Court case. My parents get locked in prison for torturing me, and they're like, "We're right. You're right. We are sexual sadists. We were getting sexual pleasure from your suffering. We were torturing you. We were trying to render you a vegetable mind." And they get locked in prison. Now what? I still don't know how to function as an independent adult. I still don't know how to be a man. I'll be lost without my mother, stepfather, and father. I probably wind up homeless or in the psychiatric hospital. So let's say I get them all locked in prison for torture. Like, that's not going to fix my problems. But just calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. It's okay. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. Maybe I'm having an emotional tsunami tonight. Maybe. I mean, my stepfather was a nasty, miserable person, but I mean, maybe I'm having a little bit of an emotional tsunami tonight. And were my cousins, aunts, uncle, stepsister, associated with rich, famous, and interesting people? Were they having the time of their lives while I was in solitude? Were they partying with millionaires and billionaires? This is what I suspect. Or is that not so? I feel like there's hidden realities, and I want them to tell me what the fucking hidden realities are. I feel like they're fucking lying to me and deceiving me and gaslighting me. I'll read to you my mother's text messages in response to these accusations. I'll read to you my mother's texts in response to these accusations. She said, leave here. Go away. If you believe that shit, you need to leave and be in your own place. Go blame other people. You refuse recovery. You. Nobody can help someone who does not want it easier to sit around and blaming others. For your information, if it wasn't for your stepdad, you'd be living in the home 20 you'd be living in a psychiatric hospital. He fixed your apartment 8 times. Remember, we are too old and too sick to help someone who refuses help. Andrew, since someone in our family always triggers you, nobody can interact with you. You were told to go to recovery. You stopped your social worker. You're in your apartment 24/7 drinking caffeine, which will destroy your gastric lining and cause disease. You need assisted outpatient treatment. You need, like others, to get forced help to see recovery will help you. We are all too old and sick to take your abuse. Remember, you did this by not getting help. That's what my mother said. My father said, keep drinking coffee all day. You will never help yourself. You need to help yourself now. I said, okay, I'll toggle the switch to off. No one is lying. My father said, you've been toggling for the last few days. My father said, yesterday is history, tomorrow is future. Today is your life. Live it now. It's your choice. I said, right. Make my life happen. Somebody says, your mother said it in a mean way, but I think she's correct. Somebody says, toggle the switch. Toggle the switch. Just flip the switch. Even if I was tortured, just toggle the switch. Everything's okay. I'm not in any danger. Everything's fine. Just stop. Just stop. Toggle the switch. Have a good evening. I did not live like a prisoner of war. I was not living, in a death camp. It's just I was not being beaten with bamboo sticks. It's just when I get emotional, I feel like I was tortured and went through some of the worst things imaginable, but it's not true. I've been in a solitary Joanne Greenberg fantasy world. Yes, my life has been tremendous pain and suffering, but a lot of it is the schizoaffective disorder, not getting tortured. Somebody says, correct, Andrew, correct. And they were not trying to cause neurological damage. They were not trying to cause a mental health injury. My parents always had good intentions, correct? They were not trying to render me a vegetable mind from 2005 to 2011. Somebody says, I think you need to contact Dr. Copland. Somebody says, you're really spiraling. Fair enough. Fair enough. So you really think this is, I need more medication issue? You really think this is all you need more medication? I mean, my life was horrible. I feel unloved by my parents, but I got to make my life happen. She says, thank God they have medication. Thank God you have a psychopharmacologist. I think so, buddy. I think this is really a medication issue. You need more medication. Somebody says, your parents provide for you. They take care of you. You're being selfish right now. They were not torturing you. Toggle the switch to off. Okay, fair enough. Somebody says toggle the switch to something fun. So it really is all delusions and psychosis. Nobody had nefarious intentions. Somebody says, I 100% believe they can be mean in their demeanor and attitude towards you, Andrew. But when they say you are delusional, they are not trying to bully you, but tell you the truth. Somebody says, we hurt the ones we love the most. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. We hurt the ones closest to us. So, I mean, in recent years, did anybody have nefarious intentions when it came to me? Was anybody trying to hurt me? Or you don't think so? You think everybody really wanted to help me make a mental health recovery? Do you think anybody was trying to hurt me and cause a mental health injury, or do you think everybody had good intentions? Somebody says, have you been sleeping? You look like you're not sleeping. Actually, I've been sleeping a lot. Believe it or not, I've been sleeping a lot. Maybe I'm sleeping too much. Yeah, I think obviously part of the reason I accuse them of being sexual sadists too is I'm really sexually frustrated. I haven't had intimacy in a long time. And when I feel the constraints of my life, I blame my parents by bringing charges of sexual perversity. I feel like they're getting sadistic sexual pleasure from my suffering. But I am really suffering, but my parents are not sadists. So this is Somebody says you're just projecting your frustrations on the ones closest to you. You're really suffering and you really are feeling sexually frustrated, but you're projecting that onto your mother, father, and stepfather. They are not getting sexual pleasure from my suffering. It's my responsibility to go out there and meet a girlfriend. It's my response. If I'm not having sex, it's not my mother who has me in a chastity belt. I have to go out there and meet a girlfriend. Nobody has me in a metaphorical chastity belt. It's my responsibility to go out there and meet a romantic partner. So what places can you go to meet women? Well, anywhere really. I mean, mental health recovery groups I've met women at. I've met women on internet dating websites. Really anywhere. Pros programs. You can meet a woman anywhere. Well, if you meet a woman at a mental health recovery group, they're going to have mental health issues too. So at least we have that in common. Somebody says, then they find out about your schizoaffective disorder. Maybe I need to date a schizophrenic woman or an autistic and schizophrenic woman or somebody like that, somebody who has mental health issues too. I mean, frankly, I mean, maybe I need to date another person with mental health issues, you know? I mean, there's other crazy women out there. There's crazy women out there, right? I mean, there are low functioning people, and somebody says there's probably more crazy women out there than men. Not gonna lie. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe I need to find a crazy woman. Rather than blame my parents, which is just wasted energy, go out there, get determined, try to meet a woman, try to get a life. Yeah, I'm really sexually frustrated. Yes, I'm really sexually frustrated. Yes, I'm 37 years old. I'm a failure. My life couldn't have gone much worse. But nobody was sabotaging me. Nobody was getting sadistic sexual pleasure from my suffering. Nobody was torturing me. Toggle the switch to off. Calm down. Somebody says, ground yourself in the fact that your mother and stepfather and father are not sexual sadists. They really had good intentions for you. They were trying to help you succeed. They were not trying to sabotage you. They did not have nefarious intentions. They were not trying to cause neurological damage. They were not trying to give you cancer. This is delusions. This is delusions. Yeah, I'm projecting my sexual frustration onto them. No, I don't want them to be. I just really want to have sex, basically. Why the hell would I want my parents to be sexual sadists? I just really want to have sex. I feel like I've been involuntarily celibate for my whole life. And I want mommy and daddy to help me meet a romantic partner, but it's my response. They can't spoon feed me a girlfriend. I have to go out there and get a girlfriend for myself. I have to go out there and meet a girlfriend myself. I feel like they're keeping me in a chastity belt, but I'm told that's not so. Well, let's say hypothetically speaking, my mother said, "Okay, I'm going to take off the chastity belt. Go meet a woman." I don't have social skills. I don't know how to I can't. I don't. I'm bad with interpersonal relationships. If my mother said, "All right, you're free. Here, the chastity belt is off." She built me an apartment so I could bring women over. She built me an apartment so I could have friends. She does not have me in a chastity belt. She is not depriving me of sex. I can't. I don't know how to socialize with people. And I don't have a lot to offer. I mean, I'm pretty handsome, but I don't have money. I'm disabled with schizoaffective. I need to be taken care of. You know, Aside from my looks, I really don't got a lot going for me at the moment. I mean, I think I'm creative. I'm funny. I got a good personality. But frankly, it's not my mother who has me in a chastity belt. It's Nobody has me in a chastity belt. I just don't know how to socially engage and get a romantic partner. Yeah, I mean, somebody says, stop blaming your mother for the way your mind works. and blame God. Maybe just say, or if you believe there's a God, say maybe God is to blame. Your mother wasn't trying to cause neurological damage. You know, Somebody's trying to say I don't care about people. No, that's not true. I know some people have the narrative that maybe I'm a sociopath or psychopath, but that's not true. I have a lot of empathy and I love people genuinely when I'm in a relationship with them. Uh, you know, I'm just really sexually frustrated. I'm really fed up. And I want love. I want love. I actually have deep empathy, believe it or not. Deep empathy. And I really genuinely care about people. So let's dispel that narrative that I have no empathy because it's not true. Somebody says, I know you believe yourself to be high functioning, but maybe look into skills. Obviously your functioning is determined by your level of functioning at the moment, your executive functioning. And right now I'm not functioning too highly. My executive functioning is low. I say there's a lot. I'm higher functioning than a lot of people at the Fountain House and mental health recovery groups. But they say, maybe you're smarter than them, maybe, but they're getting out, they're having jobs, they're functioning a lot higher than you are. You're sitting in solitude, posting on social media all day long. You know, you're not functioning too highly. Your executive functioning is determined by your level of functioning. And right now, you're not functioning highly, Andrew. You're low functioning at the moment. You might think you have the potential to be higher functioning because you feel smarter, but you're not proving that right now. So you're lower functioning. You might be smarter than the people working, at the Fountain House and some of them at least, but you're not proving that. You might say you have all the potential in the world, but you're 37. When are you going to realize your potential? When are you going to achieve your success? Okay, it's easy to say I'm smart, I have potential. Prove it. Make your life happen. You're proving you're low functioning. You're proving you need to get taken care of. And there's no shame in that. I mean, if that's what you need, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to feel like a burden or but stop saying you're high functioning and you should when you're getting taken care of and you're 37 and you're like you know so he says everybody's struggle is different. People struggle with different things. You've been struggling for a few same years in a headspace. You have to make the change. You have to take the baby steps. You have to take the first step. Take action. Stop talking about it and take action to make your life happen. You're sitting and posting on social media. You're wasting your life. You're pouring your life down the drain, and you've been doing it for years. Take action. Take the baby steps. Do it. Make your life happen. Your mother can't do it for you. Your parents can't do it for you. Family can't do it for you. Pop stars can't do it for you. Major motion picture companies can't do it for you. I have to make my life happen. Somebody says, I think you need to find woman with issues because she will understand you, but you need to branch out and try to find somebody who has, handicaps themselves. Somebody who's really independent. I need to find a woman who has a handicap herself. That's true. Whether it's somebody, it doesn't really matter. Whether it's somebody who's autistic, schizophrenic, deaf, it doesn't matter. But somebody says, if you worked, you'd be in a daydream world all day. You'd drop cement on your foot and get into disputes. Fair enough. I mean, I might say to myself, let's say hypothetically speaking, I worked as a seafood clerk at Stop and Shop. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, that's where I worked. I would say to myself, I should be a late night talk show host. I should be a movie star. I should be like Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift, Tom Holland, and I would walk off the job because I would think I'm too good to work here. You know what I mean? I would get delusions of grandeur that I should be a millionaire or a billionaire, not making minimum wage serving seafood. So yeah, I think but obviously necessity is the mother of invention, and if you don't have a paycheck coming in, your food is going to disappear, your electricity is going to get turned off. So maybe I need to stop and getting this needs to stop getting enabled. The internet needs to get pulled. Somebody needs to say, Andrew, frankly, you're not going to be like Sabrina Carpenter. You're not going to be a pop star. You're not going to be a movie star. You're not going to be a millionaire or a billionaire. And go out there and get a job making minimum wage, flipping burgers. There's no shame in that. It's good. It's fine work. Somebody says lower your standards. Don't think you need to be rich, famous, or interesting. Somebody says, when you're working, imagine you need the paycheck. Imagine you can't walk off the job. Imagine you need the job, to survive. Unfortunately, my mother is providing me as a security blanket. And that's not really good because when she dies, it's not preparing me for the future. I realize she wants me comfortable. I realize she wants me safe. But, realistically, it's providing me with unrealistic expectation of the future. When she dies, I need to be able to be self-sufficient and take care of myself and be independent. She's allowing me to post on social media all day long and enabling really bad behavior, She's enabling me to do what I want. But what I need to do is get a job and learn to be independent. Or go somewhere, anywhere. Go to a mental health recovery group. Somebody says, can you pinpoint why you're so frustrated recently? Well, I'm really sexually frustrated tonight. I can feel, if I think, what I really want right now that's making me frustrated. I really want sex. I really want intimacy. I really want love. I want to cuddle with a woman. That's one of the main reasons I'm so frustrated. I really want to have sex. But obviously, at 37, a woman wants a guy who's working. So somebody says maybe volunteer somewhere, clean houses. I'm not above anything. Somebody says, can you get a professional woman? I mean, isn't prostitution illegal in New York? I don't want to commit a crime. I mean, seriously, I want to find love anyway. I want to find a woman who's like my best friend, and I want to find true love. Obviously, I'm really sexually frustrated, but I ultimately don't want an STD. I don't want to do anything illegal. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. Somebody says a girlfriend is a long-term project. I mean, somebody says, like a professional woman is illegal. I think I don't know the laws, and I don't want to break the laws and wind up in prison. But I'm really sexually frustrated. Somebody says, Andrew, I don't think you have a long-term potential girlfriend. Unfortunately, short-term, girlfriends might be the best option at this point while you're making a mental health recovery. Maybe go on Tinder and try to find somebody who wants, friendship, but not a serious relationship. I mean, because I don't know, guys. Maybe go on a hookup website and try to find somebody who just wants intimacy. Because I'm handsome. I mean, definitely, my looks aren't my problem. I look good. I look good, guys. So I mean that's not my problem here, you know. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. So he says, stop telling them you're schizo. Yeah, stop telling romantic partners that I have schizophrenia. Yeah. What do you say? Like when they start asking about a job, when they start asking about what you do for a living, what do you say? Oh, I'm just like, what do you say? Like, so he says you lie. 90% of them want a one night stand anyway. I don't know, guys. I'm interested in true love. I mean, I want the real thing, but it's going to be hard, you know? Somebody says, don't list all your faults on the first date. You know, tell, somebody says, you have these ideas that are almost unattainable. No wonder you get frustrated. You're not going to be a pop star. You're not going to be a movie star. You're sick, Andrew. You need mental health recovery. Just keep going to mental health recovery groups. Maybe I can meet a schizophrenic chick. And maybe we could find love. Maybe I could find love with a schizophrenic chick. So he says, and talk to Dr. Kaplan about your medications, how you feel, because I think maybe you might need to up your medication. Somebody says a girlfriend is unattainable at this point, but you can't seem to see it. You can't seem to realize a girlfriend is unattainable at this point. You're really sick, Andrew. You're really sick, and you're not going to have a long-term girlfriend. I mean, everybody's recommending professional women escorts, but I'm like, yo, guys, is that illegal? I think it is. I think it's better. I think it's better to go to a mental health recovery group, and I think it's better to try to find a schizo girlfriend. We found love in a schizo place, or a schizo friend who is recovering just like me. Somebody says, and even like hypothetically speaking, after the prep thing, like you would get contamination fears if you were, with, somebody who's like a professional woman. You would get contamination fears. You would freak out. It's better to make a mental health recovery and focus on your mental health and try to find true love with somebody who's like your best friend. Somebody says you would get contamination fears. You would freak out. You'd probably take prep again. It just wouldn't be good. It just wouldn't be good. It's better to find true love with somebody who struggled like you and had a hard life like you and who's like your twin flame and soulmate. Somebody says if there's ever a reason to get a contamination fear, it would be that if you used a professional woman. So don't do that. Well, I don't know why anybody's recommending that. Obviously, I'm frustrated, but don't do that. That's a bad idea, and I think it might be illegal too. I don't know the law, but I think it's illegal too. So don't do it for that reason too, because I don't want to wind up in jail. So he says, I think you worry too much sometimes, Andrew. Fair enough, TB. Fair enough. Fair enough. He says, have you ever tried breathing exercises? That might help. That might help. Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Uh, so keep going to groups. Keep doing what I'm doing. I send Dr. Copland so many emails that he doesn't reply to my emails. I have to wait to the next session to see him, quite frankly, which is in January, a week or two. Yeah. I send him so many emails that he just doesn't even reply to me. I don't know if he has me blocked. I don't think he does have me blocked, but he doesn't reply to my emails. He doesn't answer my calls because I send so many. So I don't think, you know. So I just have to wait to the appointment. Guys, do you really think I'm having a mental health crisis? Do you really think that's the problem here? Somebody says, yes, Andrew. The problem is you're having a mental health crisis. That's okay though. Just take it slowly. Take it slowly. Somebody says that's what I believe. I believe you're in a little bit of a mental health crisis. Talk to Dr. Copland about increasing the Cobenfy. Somebody says it's bad, but nobody is in danger yet. Sexual frustration, has led to danger before. Like but I don't think it's going to lead to danger. I don't think I'm not a danger to myself. I'm not a danger to anybody else. But I am. I am definitely sexually frustrated. That's for sure. Somebody says there was this guy who needed women, and the women didn't like him, and he didn't win the lottery, and he did nefarious things. Yeah, that's not me. I'm a goody two shoes. I'm wholesome. I'm a good guy. But yeah, just keep going places, keep doing things. It's gonna get better. Believe it or not, somebody says berating the. I haven't punched a hole in the wall in months. I don't trash the apartment. So that's not true. I'm not doing anything in my apartment. I'm not doing anything bad in my apartment, so that's not true. All right, guys. I think I'm going to get going. Peace out, my impatience. He says, love is out there, but you got to go get it. See you soon.